Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Figure Files, part of the Lyles Movie Files brand. Hasbro Pulsecon 2021 is officially in the books. We saw some amazing reveals from Star Wars, Transformers, Power Rangers, the epic slew of mind-blowing reveals from the G.I. Joe Classified line, and now I'm finally wrapping up my reactions with the Marvel Legends panel. As usual, the Marvel team brought it big time. Lots of cool things. A few things on my list that I was happy to be able to say, yes, this is coming. I can cross this one off my most wanted list. Major one still there, though. And I'm sure you guys know who it is at this point because I've shown him basically in all my videos every time there's a new live stream for Marvel where I'm like, where's my boy? Still not here. So I will still be screaming, hint, hint, that we get him at some point. But first off, we did get one that I have been eyeing on my shelf, thinking I need a classic version of this dude. As you can see, I brought out the Marvel trading card, so I know Ryan Ting will appreciate that. Yeah, this is Baron Zemo, the leader of the Masters of Evil, who perpetrated probably the biggest win, the biggest victory against the Avengers in that fantastic Under Siege storyline where they just took over the mansion, beat down Jarvis, captured Captain America, sent Hercules to the hospital, and laid the Avengers out until they decided we want our mansion back. We're coming back for it. So this is Baron Zemo in his old school classic comic book glory before he decided to become a fake superhero and then got a modern outfit. So we got that one back around 2014, I want to say. It was a good figure, but this is the version I wanted because, as always, I'm strictly comic book, old school classic like that 70s to late 90s. That's my sweet spot for collecting. So anytime I can get figures from there, I'm really happy. So we got him. He is coming, and he looks amazing. He's got the fur shoulders, which is just the fur shoulder pads. I don't know what the deal is with that, why his dad decided that was a fashion statement to make, but it's amazing. He's got the furry boots. It just looks crazy. I love this outfit. The color clashes with everything. The only thing that I kind of think is a little odd is his belt has this handle, which is odd. I don't know if that's something that's been a new design choice that they've done lately. I do know I do own a pair of scissors, so I will be clipping that as soon as I find it. Of course, finding him will be the trick because he's another Walgreens exclusive. I don't know why Walgreens keeps getting exclusives. Let me show you my Marvel Legends Walgreens Nova and Quasar. Right. I haven't found them. My stores are terrible for stocking these guys. I've had zero luck. Absolutely zero luck. Most of my stores don't even carry Marvel Legends at this point. So hopefully when 2022 rolls around, I can find this guy with no problem because I need my Masters of Evil leader front and center in my display of villains. So there's a theme, as always. Last year was Cosmic, the year before was X-Men, the year previous was the Fantastic Four. So this is our tease for the 2022 theme, and you see that big logo on there, Marvel Supervillains. I'm hoping that this theme plays into the Masters of Evil, that we actually get the rest of these guys. Now clearly we won't get Goliath, but maybe we can get Fixer, we can get a different version of Mr. Hyde, maybe Yellow Jacket 2 Rita version. And if I'm just really shooting out there, maybe we get the Wrecking Crew where they're not towering over everyone like ridiculous giants. But this is most of the full squad. You see, we do have a few of these guys. We've got Absorbing Man, got Tiger Shark, we got, like I said, Wrecker, we got a Mr. Hyde. Maybe we get a different head sculpt for him. But we need Titania, we need Moonstone, Fixer. There's still, and Bolt. There's still a few of these guys on here that we need still. And I think maybe in the realm of a Walgreens exclusive setup, we could knock out this roster and get them all done, wrapped up. And then we can get like a Build-A-Figure Goliath 2 or 3, I guess, because we had Hawkeye's Goliath for a hot second there. But yeah, so hopefully that's the case. We get Masters of Evil. I like the idea of using an exclusive theme to get more villains out because they've done really good work in terms of getting more villains over the years. but I still need more, and especially ones who can go against the Avengers. And this would be a perfect way to wrap up that squad. So next up, we get a revamped version, and I think this was a version that we all knew was coming, of this Scarlet Witch figure as part of the Family Matters pack. You can see all of this shine and the sheen of this figure, and it was one of those cases where this figure looks too good to pass up. It's a box set with Amazon. They're never ever ever going to release the proper comic book version with the pink and the magenta and the red. And yeah, of course, that was like squashed in a year or so. So this is the comic book version. Looks really great. I mean, I knew this figure had to come at some point, and I think at this point, this one is about to get retired. So I was thinking about this, like as we saw several other repaints throughout the panel. It would be really cool, pipe dream of course, if Hasbro offered a rebate program. So it's like, okay, I have no more use for this figure. I want to turn this in. You guys send it off to Toys for Tots, somebody who can make use of this figure, so I don't have to try to bother selling it on eBay. Give me a $5 credit, a $5 voucher for this version that I really wanted, because you guys knew this was coming. You set me up, and this way we both win. I know that's a pipe dream, but maybe somebody at Hasbro can give that a thought, because man, I feel like I'm starting to rack up Marvel Legends that I have the inferior version just sitting collecting dust, while the one that I wanted all along is actually on my shelf now. So, but yeah, really nice job on her, and definitely the one that classic Avenger fans will absolutely want. She's got all of the accessory pieces that we normally associate with Scarlet Witch. One of her accessory pieces fell off when I was pulling her up here. So she's got those two smaller ones, and of course those signature to every character with the power that gestures or any kind of magic special effect piece. So she's got all four of those. That's nice. So it's a little bit extra. So we've got her coming, and I thought maybe this would be the window that we would see the green version of Quicksilver, but instead we get the Vision. And this is him from the West Coast Avengers after he gets his mind wiped and he has lost all sense of his emotion. And that mean old nasty Wonder Man will not give his memories back to Vision because he wants Scarlet Witch all for himself. So we've got him, and this time Vision is rocking the bare feet because it's way more comfortable to just hang out and walk around Avengers West Coast compound, because he's on the beach just chilling, fighting people. Why not enjoy the sand like that? I didn't get that one in the 3-pack, so now I can finally get this version, and I have more members of that team now with the latest Iron Man. Got Hercules, and I guess we're still waiting on She-Hulk. Cersei has to come because she's in Eternals now, so I assume that comic book version is inevitable, much like Thanos. But I think they did a nice job. The only problem with these Vision figures is he's still too slight. Like, he's tiny now. And you see how he matches up with her. That works. But when you put him up against this new Iron Man, the new Captain America, he's tiny. And I've always, John Buscema drew Vision. He drew him the same size, girth-wise as Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, etc. We're getting a slender version of Vision now, and I know that's the one thing I wish they'd fix, but he looks good otherwise. You see the close-up. They decided an all-white version would look too plain. I kind of feel like that's how he looked in the comics, so I prefer to just get him in all white, but I understand what they were doing here. So looks really good. I think this is still on the Bucky cap. Yes, the Bucky cap mold, because there's no ball jointed shoulders. I wish he had that from the Sunfire mold, like this guy. So, yeah, I'm just kind of curious why they shifted and switched that up there, because I think the Bucky cap mold desperately needs to be retired at this point, and we don't need any new figures to actually still come with that. So for people who missed out, we get a box set, and this is the first member of that set is Captain America Sam Wilson, and this is from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They've added a few more silver detailing, so if you got that single pack version, joke's on you, you messed up. Just like me, don't feel bad. I'm not getting this one because, again, you notice the complete lack of wings, which makes this figure Cool, but not the must pick up that if it had wings. Even though I just finally got the build a wing set vision to complete that, the wings for Captain America here. So that's something we're, I wish they would have done. But if you notice, he's still got those splayed out hands instead of fists. I think if they had done that, that might have been a nice incentive. But the real thing here, oh, there are the fists, is a unmasked, ungoggled Sam head sculpt. This is the first time we got Anthony Mackie's head sculpt without some goggles. I mean, they've always done the goggles for him, so this is the first time we see that, and that's cool. Although he kind of looks sad, and it's not quite the great likeness that we've come to expect now, seeing these latest MCU figures. So that's a little bit surprising. It's not as dead on as we've come to expect. He's back with his buddy, his best friend, Captain America Steve Rogers. This is from Avengers Endgame. This is the one that was a Walgreens exclusive. Was a Walmart exclusive that was Walgreens level of hard to find. So for everybody that missed out on this guy, you can finally get him now. If you note the very Avengers Endgame accurate non-broken shield, I wish that was something they included with this one, because we've got, as Dwight told us, we've got like 20 Captain America shields. So we could have gotten this one with the broken shield. I thought that would have been really nice, a nice addition. Something to make this one stand out. You see there's no Mjolnir here, so that would have been something that would have really upped the ante here. And again, as you see, there are fists with this version of Cap than Sam. So that's a bonus. That's nice to see. I'm not going to buy it, but that's nice. So hopefully everybody that missed out on the Walmart Cap can get this one now. One figure that I'm very excited about getting is this updated version of the Winter Soldier. Now the package has him as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier version from that really fantastic opening sequence where Bucky's having nightmares about his time as a killer Hydra assassin. And I got the Winter Soldier version because this is when I started really getting back into Marvel Legends, and got that whole Captain America, the Winter Soldier wave. My Winter Soldier's shoulder was stuck, frozen, and I actually broke the peg of the shoulder joint. So I never really was able to display him for anything because it was broke. And I was like, I'm not buying this figure again. It's not even accurate to the movie. Now we finally get one that's accurate to the movie. We've got the fully unmasked sculpt. I like the hair flowing there. It's got that great Sebastian Stan likeness. We've got the half mask, so when he loses the goggle piece, and just really has that great psycho look to him. And you see the great, bionic arm that he's got there before he gets the vibranium one from his friends at Wakanda. And now we got the fully unmasked version, so you can go, who's Steve? So I love that knife that he's coming with. He's got a lot of guns, which is always great. One with a full clip there, so he can really shoot out on the streets of DC as he's hunting down Cap, Natasha, and Sam. And that's him. One more shot of him carrying his bigger gun and the knife. Really like this guy. I think they did an outstanding job on him. So they did an interview with Donnie Coates, who is a big writer in Marvel. I'm a little negligent on my Marvel reading on that front. I'm very much like Dwight. I'm going back to my collection of old 80s trades and just like, wow, this is so great. Right now I'm revisiting the Avengers Kree-Skrull War. So you see how far back I am with my Marvel reading. But anyway, this is the render that we got of Null, the bad guy from King in Black. I think that's correct. He's got a cool looking shield. It looks great. I love that facial sculpt and the symbiote logo. He looks cool. I think he's cool enough to get, just depending on what kind of format. If he's a solo figure, maybe not until I catch up and read that book, but that's a cool looking figure. So I'm interested to see what else they do in terms of the release with him. Then we also got a render of Vulcan. And I hate that name because I just think of Spock. But this is the third Summers brother. I did read that, finally caught up to how they connected and finally closed the loop on that epic storyline that just lingered forever from the late 90s. He looks cool. I can kind of see that Alex and Scott likeness in the head sculpt and the hair, so that's cool. I'm wondering if his eyes are going to look whited out like that the whole time, or if they're going to give an alternate head sculpt. One thing that I did notice here, this is the new base body, the replacement for the Bucky cap which is great because it really needed to be replaced. It's got butterfly shoulders, looks stronger, looks a little bit buffer, a little thicker, and it doesn't have that big gap in the torso like I think everyone's Bucky Cap figures did after like the 8,000th time they reused that mold. But it doesn't look like he has the thigh articulation. I'm not sure if this is just from the render and if they'll fix that when we actually get the figure, or if that's a piece they're cutting out. Every other articulation piece is intact, and you see like the ankles, the double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, butterfly shoulders, the head and neck articulation, and the torso and waist. So it was a little odd that they didn't throw in that thigh articulation, at least just to show that it's there still. So hopefully that is still coming. That would not be an upgrade if we're losing a piece of articulation there. And this is Despair. Know very little about him, but I do know he looks cool. Some buddies speculate he's going to be one of the characters in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness wave, which makes sense because we still don't know everybody that's coming out in that set. But I really like the look of his tattered cape. I hope over the years, after playing and posing around with him, that it still holds up because it really looks nice there. And I hope that kind of pretty much stays the way it is over the years. But it looks good. So then we got the actual, package version for us. Unparalleled Universe showed off this guy, and we got to see the full promo pictures, got to see him in action from the Hasbro team's perspective. And this is that throwback to the Toy Biz Captain America from Series 1. Like I told you before, I was so geeked out to find this wave at Zales and get Cap, Iron Man, and Thor. It took me a little bit longer to find Hulk. They did assure us that we will be seeing Toad and Hulk later. So that was kind of cool. These promo pictures, I think, do a little bit better job of showing out that head sculpt. It still looks a little too fierce and mean to me for Steve Rogers, but it's not bad. I definitely think what I'm going to have to do is get a little black paint on that. And I think painting that around the A will help it a lot for me. So salute to you, Cap. Got the chainmail metal there. Looks really nice. They've done a great job with that. This is kind of a base off the 80th model, 80th anniversary of Marvel, not Marvel Legends, but of Marvel. And just the version of Cap I think a lot of us wanted to see when that 80th version came out, when we got those Alex Ross versions of those guys. But you see all these shield effects, and that's important because this shield has holes in it. And Dwight told us, hey, listen, stop whining. Just use one of your other Cap shields. But it's kind of like, this figure is $31, 32 after, and 32 probably 33 after tax. It would be nice to just get a regular default shield. I don't think that would have jacked the price up to 35. So this is one part of the base. This is kind of the replica of the original Toy Biz diorama piece, which was crazy that we actually got those back in the day with these guys for $7.50. Crazy. So this is that's a nice little homage. You see the Marvel Legends base there just to see the full thing. So there's that's nice. And then we get the other side, which was in the actual figure, a full comic book again, which is crazy. We got all this stuff, and we got a diorama base. We got the most highly articulated figure at the time with great articulation, great detail, and all for the lower price of under $8. So really nice job. And this is a great homage to that figure. So the one new one that we got today that, we did not expect to see until we got it leaked a few moments before Hasbro's panel was I guess this is Iron Man version 3, the Hornhead version. I think this is the last time I think for sure I'm going to get this 80th anniversary body. It really does capture that Avengers issue 3 look when Goliath, Giant Man, Thor, Iron Man, and Wasp take on Hulk and Submariner. And this is a look he had when they found Cap and got him out of the ocean or the ice and retrieved him. You see, he does not have the hip, those repulsor pieces, they're energy packs. I think that's what they were at that point. It's been a minute since I revisited my old Avengers, but I love the look of the horn head mask, the faceplate there. And they actually did a little tinkering on the chest plate too, which is nice to make it, to show that kind of vintage older look. Paul Harding's been showing us digital sculptings of these figures from the 70s, not figures, the Marvel characters, and this definitely looks like an exact replica of the sculpt he used for Tony Stark. So it's really nice to see that here. You can almost picture him reaching for the martini glass with this head sculpt. So it's really great. They did a fantastic job doing that. The one thing I wish that we got with this guy was the cut out holes so we could actually see the eyes. I always thought that was a cool thing with the Iron Man figures, or the ones that would do that, and that's the one thing I wish they had added. And in addition to an actual hinge joint for those repulsor hands. And maybe this was the one they could have thrown in some roller skates just for fun. So this is the back of his base. This is not the replica of the diorama that he came with. It's just like hey, this is a Stark property, so here you go. And this is the full setup with accessories. He's got the standard repulsor blast. He's got the smoke vapor trail from that. I think it's kind of interesting that the 80th anniversary figure had the unmasked Stark portrait, 2 head sculpts. So we had a total of 3. We had an alternate set of hands, 4 repulsor blasts, and for less money. So I'm not quite sure if this clamshell, this stand base is worth that extra money, but I guess they're trying to justify all this stuff. But yeah, I don't really know if that's enough. But so because I wanted to actually prove that I was way back a Marvel Legends head from back in the day, I don't have this guy meant because I free my figures from their carded prisons right away. This is my Iron Man figure that I've had forever, back when I had no gray hair. But yeah, and this guy has been so good. He's been such a great figure. It's like really held up for all these years. Outside of the arms that don't fold back to there. But yeah, I've always thought Toy Biz did a great job right off the bat with this guy, and he's really held up really well, against even some of the newer figures that Hasbro has put together. You can see this one actually pairs up better with Vision. Anyway, somewhere in my figure chest, I think I have the original Series 1 Captain America, so when I uncover him, I'll make sure to post him with the old school Iron Man for one of those how it started, how it is now, or whatever the kids say with those memes. All right, so this is the front of the comic, and this is just another one. It's not quite the one that we got from that, but it shows that Hasbro still has a few more uses from that body if they really wanted to. Please don't, because I really needed to have this one be the last time I revisit this mold again. So the big surprise we got from Hasbro was they're doing a line of animated X-Men figures, and the first one is Wolverine. I know that's super shocking that they would actually do Wolverine. We have a tiger stripe, yellow and blue, from the very first line of X-Men, when it was just like, we're cracking the door back open. You guys have been so good. We're going to finally give you guys what you wanted. X-Men and Marvel Legends with the new articulation, new attention to detail, all that great stuff. So we got Wolverine here, and I wanted that tiger stripe version that came with the Hulk. The only problem was that guy, he had the short mask, which was appropriate for that era, of course. But we haven't gotten the tiger stripe with lighter comic book colors that fit in more with how he looked during the John Byrne, Chris Claremont era. And this figure was so close to capturing everything I wanted with that, except for that cell shading. This is, I don't remember X-Men looking that fancy with the shading. So I think it's really interesting that they added that into this figure. But I really like the head sculpt, the fierce, like, I'm going to get you guys. And, just all that good stuff. The claws look great. And just maybe the budget will cheap out. But this was the ridiculous, amazing part of this figure. So it comes with this meme replica of Wolverine lusting after Jean, trying to be a homewrecker, breaking up the happy house of Jean and Scott. And so now you can do that. And the picture apparently is removable, so you can put whatever picture you like. So this is what it looks like from the back. You can see all the cell shading. I just wish they stripped this down. And maybe you want to gouge us one more time, or get us one more time, or offer up the Marvel Legends retro packaging to get Wolverine minus all of this. We can just get him in that look. That would be awesome. And this is the other really cool aspect of this figure. So we're not getting the standard setup, standard packaging here. This is a replica of how it was for us way back in the day when we couldn't buy our TV shows in a full season. We had to buy like the best of, or here's 5 or here's 10 episodes, which was kind of lame because they just randomly chose stuff. But we get the box set styled in VHS glory of Wolverine. So it shows it off, and you see Marvel Legends on the bottom. That's so cool. You got the back here. I kind of wish they had done something like the Power Rangers team where they actually had like a drawing and like a tape that you could take out. It'd been nice to open the box and have a VHS tape with a drawing of Wolverine on there, or something like how you would do when you had your tape labels if you're as old as I am. So next up, this is the digital sculpt. We didn't get to see her in action, but this is Jubilee. As you know, I wonder if they're going to make her a little bit shorter than the one that we had way back with the X-Men line, because Jubilee is a little bit too tall. I think she's about as tall as Wolverine, which she should be shorter. You see her, she's got her goggles. They are shaded on different areas. So we got 2 different head sculpts. These aren't the same ones that came with the Jubilee who came in that X-Men line. This is from the Build-A-Figure Jubilee, back when they decided we were going to make Jubilee the vampire, and you can get that Build-A-Figure that way, which was not great. But this time we get a cell shaded version of Jubilee, so still not quite the ideal version of her just yet. So the ideal jubilation for me is still to come, but this one really looks nice, minus of course that cell shading. And this is her box, her packaging. It's really nice. Sees her, shows her in action. And here's the side of the box. Like I said, this is a really cool idea, and I'm glad that they did this for this line, because I think this is the 90s property along with Spider-Man, which has basically been mining this way tremendously with that retro carding, that they could do this kind of thing with. So that's it. So you can stack them up and have a whole lineup. I assume we're going to see more, so probably Cyclops. Maybe they'll do Cyclops on that new body. It's not go with the Bucky cap one. So we'll break the mold of Cyclops figures using that Bucky cap and move him onto his brother's mold, which would be kind of appropriate, I guess. So then we got a teaser figure, and this was the first time in probably the history of every time they've done these panels where I actually knew. I was like, oh, I know that guy. So this is from the all new versions of the X-Men. And I was like, oh, great. This is the X-Men that I know. This is Maggot. And this is back in that old defunct magazine Wizard. Still want the rest of my subscription money that I paid for. Didn't get because you guys decided to cancel the magazine. But enough of that. So here's Maggot, Dr. Cecile Reyes. Back when it was like, okay, this is the new era of X-Men along with Marrow. It's a weird trio of new X-Men. But I don't know. I kind of like those adventures. And anytime you have Joe Mad drawing it, it's pretty cool anyway. So Maggot is actually coming. I assume he's going to be in that same wave with Vulcan. So we got some unique entries to this X-Men wave. I'm sure you're wondering, though, where is Banshee? I was wondering the exact same thing. So still no news on him. Sorry, Banshee. We're going to have to wait till the next live stream. Maybe then I can retire you, because if any figure needs to be retired, is this Hasbro figure. So we need him out of the way. Hasbro, please don't forget. Banshee needs it. We all need it. Everybody who wants to complete their all new, all different, original version 2 of the X-Men. We need an updated Banshee. Please, please, please. All right. Well, that's it. There's some of those 3/4 retro figures as well. You can see them on the site. I've got the full gallery of those up as well on LylesMovieFiles.com. But that is it for me with the Marvel Legend reveals. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend and get all your pre-orders in without any sellouts. This episode of Lyles Figure Files has been filed.